Good morning! How are you all? It's very lovely to see you. I am joining you here from my Malibu mansion. I have moved over to Malibu actually for 6 weeks until the shop opens. So got my flight over last night, and Nikki and I are currently sitting in our beautiful house here in Malibu. So yeah, it's just amazing. The sun's shining. We've got the piano. Oh, the piano's there. No, the piano's there. Piano in the background. Our big sofa behind me. It's just absolutely amazing. So this morning we have got the very lovely John on, and he is talking all about energy, as we always do. So without further ado, I am going to bring John on the screen. Hello!
Good morning.
Morning, John. Do you like my new house?
Yeah, I was admiring it. Yeah.
Yeah. We've moved over to America for 6 weeks. We've got a massive mansion in Malibu, huge big swimming pool. It's just amazing.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's not really, it's just a green screen.
You never just tell me different.
I would love it to be a Malibu mansion. That would be really nice. So I'm just going to go with where I actually am, and that is at a brick wall. So John, we are speaking today about energy, as we always do whenever you're on. And there's been a big shift in energy this last week. I'm sure you feel it. I'm sure the whole planet's feeling it. How are you feeling about the changes?
I hate it.
Oh, do you?
Oh, when I get these shifts, I get so paranoid.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, you're just so highly sensitive to everything.
Yeah.
And the past couple of days especially, oh, they've been murder.
Aye, there's definitely been this big, huge big shift in energy for everybody on the planet, I think, hasn't there? Or everybody, certainly in mainland Scotland anyway. We all felt that. So,
yeah, I get so paranoid thinking it's just me.
yeah, no, it's definitely not just you. I was vlogging this morning on my personal page, just saying, how the last 3 weeks I've really struggled with my emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. I've really been fighting hard to try and keep myself afloat. And I think that's something that, everybody's kind of been experiencing these last few weeks. Would you agree?
Absolutely. It's a couple of folk I've helped through it. And you just see people going off like wee volcanoes. And then you try and calm them down, but you don't expect yourself to go off either.
I know. It's interesting though, isn't it, how personally I'm always that person who I'm always trying to be upbeat and keep myself really buoyant, and usually it's not too much trouble, but honestly, just the last 3 weeks I've just really struggled with everything, and my usual coping mechanisms haven't really been effective, I suppose. So that's where I need to find new ways of dealing with all of that.
Exactly.
And I was saying this morning in my vlog how there's this big collective consciousness of people saying, I can't wait to get back. And I've been, it's something that I said, we cannot go back. See, if we're in that mentality of thinking we are going back to what used to be, we need to shift that consciousness and actually start thinking we're going to start to experience new things, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to start to to feel different, and we're going to start to be different. Like, see, the first time I go out for something to eat, I'm going to order the most expensive thing on the menu, and I'm going to savor every single mouthful like it's the first time that I've eaten.
It's going to be a whole new beginning, isn't it?
Mm.
And I think, again, it's going to be another huge energy shift.
Yeah. I'm excited, though, are you?
I'm excited, but it's just you get through the whole shift. It plays a bit with all your emotions, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like being sucked through the plug hole in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And then coming at the other end like, whoa, what the hell was that?
Yeah. I found that yesterday especially that was my worst day.
Yeah.
And I just felt so flat.
Mm-hmm.
Even had my grandkids were here. Normally they keep me bouncing, but and they're just, granddad, come out and play with us.
Yeah, it's really easy though, isn't it, to let yourself kind of fall under that, and go into that state of being, I suppose. I've found it really, really hard just to actually communicate with people.
Yeah.
And I'm a Cancerian, so I'm a Cancer person. I have got my rising sign as Cancer. My moon sign is Virgo. My north node is in Cancer, and my south node is in Pisces. So I am totally fucked.
Aye.
When we're speaking of energy, I am the most sensitive person astrologically, because it's all water. It's all water and emotion.
Yeah,
and then I've got Virgo that makes me. Yeah. What's your thoughts on astrology and energy as well, John? Actually,
to be quite honest with you, astrology was never at the forefront in my mind, but it's just recently, and obviously there's someone's come into my group and they're right into their astrology, and just listen to them talking, and it makes so much sense.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, she did me a reading with my star sign and my date of birth and everything. I'm thinking that's too accurate.
Yeah. See, if you think about it though, when we're looking at astrology, this is the part that I like to get across to people. I could teach astrology if I wanted to, but I don't, because it's such a vast subject. And it took me like 6 years to go through all of my astrology stuff. You know, it was like intense stuff. But what I done first was astronomy, and then I done astrology. So I wanted to do astronomy first so I could understand the planets and how everything aligns, and then I done astrology. But what I found was most fascinating, we, at this point, everybody thinks that, you know, the sun moves around the universe and, you know, or all the planets move around the sun. And that's not the case. We are moving through space with the sun and the planets moving all at once. So nothing ever is the same. It's always changing and always developing. It's really fascinating. So, of course, the energy is always going to feel different. It may feel familiar, but it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So,
and you can see where it all makes sense as well.
Mm-hmm. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. And I think when you can understand, like, all your 12 houses, your notes, you know, like, so your north note, your south note, your all the 12 houses of your zodiac, everything makes much more sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because your star sign isn't just you. It's all of these very complicated parts of it that we we don't necessarily see.
Yeah. It's funny, I was reading about Gordon Higginson's book yesterday and didn't realise how much he was into astrology as well.
Massively. I actually remember Gordon speaking about astrology, and it wasn't on a platform for SNU. It was on a very different platform, because obviously back then you weren't allowed to speak about astrology and you know, tarot cards and crystals and all of that. It's funny though, isn't it? You know, do you remember that? Because I know that you and I have been in the spiritual game for a long time. We were both SNU mediums, and we weren't allowed to talk about that stuff, were we?
I think that's why we were conditioned so much at the beginning.
Yeah. Because I remember when people used to say to me things like, have you ever worked with crystals, or have you ever worked with tarot cards? I was like, no. We do not do that. We are mediums.
Exactly.
And see, now we're like, right, where's my tarot? Come on, get the tarot. Where's my crystals? Where's my sage?
I know.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because
what it's done, it's let me see just how our energy is so important to all the work that we do. Yeah, and just how all these things affect our energy, like the moon, like the stars.
Yeah,
everything affects it.
I think there's always a danger as well, though. You know, like if you're doing lots of different things, there's always a danger that you become like practiced in everything but master of nothing.
Absolutely.
So you know that's where I really worked hard over the years. You know, because that like 23 years now I've been working spiritually, and over the years I've done different blocks of different things, but taken a long time to do them. You know, the mediumship part of things has always been there. You know, for tarot, for instance, I spent 4 years studying tarot. I spent 6 years studying astrology, you know, 4 years doing massage. So all of these things, they complemented each other, but I really made sure that I was really the master of those individual things before I moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing lots of different things, it buggers up your energy, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Again, it's good that you've taken the time to do all that. And it all makes sense, because then you're growing and your energy's growing. That's how you get the high energy you've got.
See, for me, though, I was just thirsty for knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, so Gina and I were speaking about this the other day, where religion tends to keep you in a container.
Yeah.
And like spirituality, the religion that is spiritualism, because spiritualism is a religion, it holds you in that container of thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's the one I've kind of it's the box I'm trying to push out just now as well.
Mm-hmm. It's so easy though to be, I don't know, institutionalized in that way of thinking, isn't it?
It is. If you think about it, I don't know so much over the East, but in the West, we're born into religion.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically we're either Catholic, Protestant, and we're raised that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for myself, I took myself out of the Catholic Church. I took my boys out just to let them find their own way.
Yeah.
So I found spiritualism. And again, I just found myself in another box.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Our kids, they attend Catholic school because Nikki's Catholic. Yeah. So they have all of that learning and understanding, which actually I think is actually a very good thing, because they're learning religion, which I think every child should do.
Absolutely.
The good thing about our kids' school is they learn all religions as well, not just about Catholicism, which is really good.
That's good, aye.
They've obviously got their prayers and all of that stuff that they do as part of their school curriculum, but our kids are kind of being brought up with a Catholic spiritual twist.
Yeah.
It's funny because Theo yesterday came home from school and he said to me, "Dad, do you know Jesus?" And I was like, "I don't know him personally, but I know of him." And he's like, "Jesus, he could walk on water." And I was like, "He could walk on water. So what's your thoughts on that?" And he's like, "Could I walk on water?" And I was like, "I think if anybody tried to walk on water, they would probably walk through the water, not on the water." And he said, "So what made Jesus walk on water?" And I said to him, "Belief. So if you believe strongly enough in something, you will be able to do it."
Yeah.
And he was like completely blown away by that. I don't know what my point is. I don't know why I'm trying to get that across. But I think if we can empower our children to believe in themselves and believe that their belief is the strongest thing, not the belief in something else, I think that is good energy itself, don't you?
Absolutely. And it's their own personal growth as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not by any means knocking religions, because it's good, as you say, it's good to know a bit about them.
Yeah.
Because then you can learn to respect other people's cultures a wee bit more.
Absolutely.
That it's just when you're contained in that box.
That was another.
As you got older.
Yeah, that was another course I done, was religious studies over 2 years, where we learned about all religions. Do you know that there's over 2,000 religions in the world?
I didn't know.
There is.
Yeah.
But we only hear about the major 5 or 6 of them. But there's over 2,000 religions in the world. It's crazy.
Thank goodness. I know I did a wee talk in Glasgow Association of Spiritualists one night. And we're just talking about spiritualism as a religion, just how it's so far down.
Yeah.
And when you're asking people what is the biggest religion in Scotland, and they'll come out with it's Catholic, it's Protestant, and you say no, it isn't. It's Islam.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Islam's the biggest religion in the world, actually.
Yeah. And they've got one of the biggest mosques in the UK in Glasgow.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. And then they get surprised when you tell them that over 51% of Scots are atheists. It's like people are turning away from religion.
Yeah. I think that's definitely something. I think people are moving towards a more. I hate the word spiritual, right? I have to say, I don't hate it. That's wrong. Yeah. I dislike the way the word spiritual is used, because people use it without any kind of understanding, you know. So, like, out of curiosity, what would your view of if I was to say I'm a spiritual person, John? What would your view of that be?
My view that there's no such thing. You can't be spiritual 24/7.
Exactly. So
not when you've got kids who are a bit boisterous and.
Because that makes you a fuck you kind of person.
Yeah.
You little shit.
Exactly.
I've just swore live on Facebook. I do apologise for anybody watching this, but all the children are at school, so it's totally fine. But we cannot be spiritual all the time. We have to have that very balanced perspective. We can have spiritual beliefs and a spiritual faith and a spiritual understanding, but when we come across like we are connected and it's all right, that's just the moon and the planets that are causing me to feel that way, and that's it's just the energy that's causing me to feel that way. No, it's no. A lot of it is to do with the human ego, and how we perceive things and how we understand things. And when I'm talking about ego, I don't mean like you're egotistical, but it's our window on the world and how we view things.
Exactly. Your ego can knock you down as well.
Absolutely. So it's not that we are spiritual people, it's that we have a spiritual way of living and understanding, but equally we've got that very balanced side of us where we are humans. We have to live a human life. We have to live a human existence. And, we're spirit people in meat suits riding this rock through space, having a human experience. And I think that's what we need to really think about, is that, we are here to have a human experience.
Totally.
We can be connected to everything spiritual, but we must focus on the human experience first.
Yeah, I think what keeps it human sometimes is the bills to pay, the mortgage to pay, all these things.
I don't have bills. I don't pay bills or mortgages. I don't even know what I call them. I call it the headaches.
Aye.
I deal with the headaches. I throw ibuprofen at them.
Aye.
Kelly's saying an interesting thing there, actually. Kelly's saying, I struggle with folk identifying as empaths. I mean, we all have empathic traits. I feel identifying as one carries a kind of victimhood. That's an interesting comment there, because, every single person on the planet is empathic. But we're not necessarily empaths, are we?
No, I think everybody has the ability to intuit other people's energy and pick things up from other people, but not necessarily be totally empathic and take on everybody's problems as such.
Yeah.
Or ailments.
So the definition of empath is someone who is highly aware of the emotions of those around them, to the point of those feelings, of feeling those emotions themselves. Empaths see the world differently than other people. They are keenly aware of others, their pain points, and what they need emotionally. But it's not just emotions, it's everything. So someone who says that they are an empath, I suppose that person's kind of living other people's lives by being around them.
Yeah, exactly. If you were going to be that way with people, you would really want to step back, because it wouldn't be healthy, would it?
Not at all. Not at all. And I think that's where we need to be acutely aware of our energy. And that, that's why I spend so much time working with the people who train with us. Like, nobody's energy can affect you.
Exactly.
It can slightly, but
yeah,
you are always in control of how your energy is affected.
Yeah, it's a discipline you have yourself, isn't it?
Yeah. So when we're speaking about, like how to protect your energy, because see, one thing that really gets my goat as well, Christ, I sound like I'm having a right moan this morning, and I'm no. But when people say things like you need to protect your energy, that's the biggest load of shite in the world. It's a way of, like, I'm just going to shut up. Right, John, I'm going to leave. No, wait, bring you back in. But You don't need to protect your energy.
He's coming back.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, can see. Yeah.
I'm saying you don't need to protect your energy because you have got something that does that for you, and that is your own aura. It's your
Absolutely.
own energy field. And the seventh layer of the aura, the one that's the farthest from your body, is the one that is the brightest spectrum of light. So that is the part of you that protects you naturally without needing to be protected against anything.
Yeah. It's the part that we don't listen to as well.
Yeah.
When we get all these warnings, that we just go ahead anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, your aura's there to protect you big time.
Yeah. It's interesting because Nicola, that was on yesterday, she actually spoke about it in great detail, and she was talking about like all the things that are around you, all the things that are going on with your life are the things that people focus on. So when people are focusing on the things that are around them, rather than internally focusing on the stuff that they need to focus on, they feel vulnerable. They feel like there's things that are harming them when those things have no effect on them at all. It's the things that are within. Does that make sense, or am I talking absolute rubbish?
No, I totally get that. I've spoken to a couple of people recently as well that they go for a lot of readings,
Mm-hmm.
and they go for the entertainment purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I question, well, why do you do it? Because you'll go to these people, whether they're good readers, indifferent, or whatever. There's some brilliant readers out there, but you're allowing these people just to pull out all your faults, lay it out on the table,
Mm-hmm.
and then give you in a carrier bag to take home with you.
Yeah.
Rather than put it all back together.
Yeah. Totally agree. And I think that's where reading needs to change. That's where people need to. I see it so often. I see people working with people online, and there's this. They highlight the problems in a person's life.
Yeah.
When actually that's not what a reading should be about. It should be about like identifying where things might be going wrong or things might be imbalanced, and then, encouraging and supporting that person to think about the changes they need to make.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go for a lot of readings nowadays, but if I do, I like to have something I can go away and work with.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it should be about.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual counselling, reading, it should be about, empowering people to think about change rather than here's all the answers.
Yeah, and that's it. They're your carrier bag.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts, John? We were speaking a minute ago there about, people feeling vulnerable and people feeling like they need to protect their energy. Because I want to really explore that a wee bit. People will often say, when you're a working medium, or not even when you're a working medium, but when you are training to be a medium, or even people who maybe are just aware of the spirit world and they feel like they need to be protected. What's your view on that?
As in protection from the spirit world, I've never needed it.
Nope.
I'm unprotected.
So why do you think people need to feel that they need to be protected?
I think there's probably a wee bit of fear with some people as well. Because obviously we're not naive people either. We know there's mischievous people in the spirit world, there's bad people in the spirit world. But me personally, I've chosen not to work with them.
Yeah. It's like the person who believes that their life is always going to be negative. they're always going to have hardship. They're always going to have difficult times. What they're going to attract to them quite naturally is difficult times, hardship.
Yeah,
all the
absolutely.
things. If you're believing that you're going to need protected, you're going to attract these things towards you, aren't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know there's a lot of mediums that go out, we'll call it ghost hunting or whatever they want to call it. But and they wonder why they get, whether it's psychic attacks or whatever, and they're really just opening up. Subconsciously, they're saying, "Bring on the scary stuff."
Mm-hmm.
And I believe if you go looking for a fright, you'll get one.
Absolutely. I've done lots of stuff in the past where I've been asked to go and investigate and do things, and I don't like it. Because you're basically putting it. See, for me, that's like right. So there's certain places where there is the souls of people who come from times when there was lots of violence, murder, horrendous things going on in the world, and they quite enjoy the feeling of being able to scare people still to this day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they choose to haunt or frighten or whatever. And when you put yourself into that scenario, when you put yourself in that place, it's like going into a prison where there's like 100 murderers and walking freely in through all those murderers and expecting not to feel anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's no nice.
No.
So all these haunted locations that people visit, it's you're basically going into these places and you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position.
Yeah.
I think it's nice for people to experience it, though.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's part of their developments, letting them see that there's good, there's bad, there's evil out there.
Yeah. What's your thoughts as well on possession? I know what your thoughts are, right? Because you and I, like many years ago, when we were like training as mediums with the SNU, like I know what your thoughts are on it, but I want you to share. So, what is your thoughts on a spirit person possessing the body of a living person?
I'll be diplomatic. Obviously, I don't believe in possession. I don't feel that we can be possessed. However, we can allow the spirit world through trance mediumship to take certain amount of control of our own minds, of our nervous system, of our voice box. But you're always in control of that.
Absolutely. And a lot of people think that, that's spirit then taking control of you, but it's definitely not. When I know you've done trance mediumship before and sat in trance, and it is very much that you are just observing almost, isn't it?
Exactly.
You're observing but in control.
Yeah, unless you've developed to a deep trance state, where it's, I suppose you could call it a non-conscious state, where you're giving the spirit world the freedom to work with your mind, with your voice box. You tend to find that that's more what people are looking for to produce physical phenomena. So it's part of a whole process.
I know we had that program that aired on Netflix as well. And do you know Libby Clark? You must know Libby.
I know Libby, yeah.
Yeah. So see when Libby had done her part on the the trance healing, I was like, I know Libby, and she's one of the most authentic, genuine people on the planet. You know, Libby's not a bullshitter by any means. You know that.
Yeah.
But I had so many people like saying to me, like, I just didn't get that bit.
Funny enough, so did I.
It's funny because
I found a lot of people were forming opinions of something they just didn't understand. They're seeing 2 minutes of an hour-long session.
Yeah.
And they form opinions.
And Libby is like you know, I know you know Libby very well, but Libby she's one of the most genuine, most authentic mediums I think I've ever came across.
Exactly.
She sat for a very long time in her development.
Yeah.
So did Nicole DeHaas as well, actually. And she was another one who, you know, Nicole with blonde. Have you met Nicole with the blonde hair, glasses?
I don't think so, no.
Yeah, so Nicole, both of them had sat for a long time in their development. I know Libby better than I know Nicole, but like, I just think, you know, people's opinions of it and people's opinions of that kind of thing are just that. They're just opinions. Everybody's got one, I suppose.
Exactly. But
I
again,
think
it's opinions of things they don't understand, though.
Yeah.
It's like you've said earlier that you spent years studying the things that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke one night about Reiki and how people throw the word Reiki about. But again, a lot of them don't understand what they're doing.
No. I think there's a huge big side, like when we speak about Reiki as well, there's a huge big side of Reiki that I think people are they're so keen on going through all the levels quickly. You know, for me, it took me 7 years to go through my 3 attunements.
Aye.
Like, I done Reiki 1 and I was like, I took like two years actually, 2 years to really absorb the feeling of it. And then Reiki 2, I took 2 years to absorb, because I was used to spiritual healing, you know.
Yeah.
A new healer, so Reiki was like, wow, this is totally different. And then level 3 again, that's just mind blowing. But I've taken lots of time going through all these things, and I think that you need to, don't you, John?
Exactly. It's not just a case of getting your certificate. It's pretty much you're getting a driving license. But if you've not got a car, you don't learn how to drive it.
Yeah.
Pointless.
The theory side of things was, see, for me, like the theory side of things, I was like, because I just spent so long reading about Reiki, so long researching it, so long. And Siobhan, who is my very good friend, she was like, we need to get you attuned, we need to get you attuned, we need to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm just learning, I'm learning. I just read and read and read and read. But that's me. I absorb information. I like to learn about things first and then actually. So, now I'm talking mints. But
but you're not. It's about how you're growing your own energy, growing your own knowledge.
And if you look at the whole mediumship side of things as well, you know, you and I spent how many churches, John?
Oh God, knows. Hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds of hours spent in service to the spirit world, you know, practicing and you know, working our craft, I suppose.
Yeah, because I can admit it's even like 3 or 4 years before you were allowed to stand on a platform and talk to public.
I know. Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then stand in front of a panel of people who decide whether you should be working or not.
Aye.
That was nerve-wracking, eh? Do you remember that? I remember 22, standing in front of a panel of 6 officiants, I suppose. What would you from the
I think there was officiants, there was CSNUs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is nerve-wracking.
Really is.
Yeah.
Really is. Yeah.
Even the day I passed mine, I was that just full of nerves and put myself down. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even when they say, right, you've passed, you think, right, in a way.
We've kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole talking about mediumship now, eh?
Aye.
So, sorry, John, on you go. What were you going to say?
But it's still all energy.
Absolutely. It definitely is all energy. So I'm interested, from those of you who are watching, we have got 19 minutes left of our surgery today, and I would love you guys to ask as many questions as you possibly can, and John and I will answer them the best we possibly can. Go for it.
That's a deathly silence, isn't
it? Yeah. There's Kelly saying it's so easy to get certified online. I really think you need to choose carefully who you want to certify with. Do you know what? I think that's a huge big thing, because there is we're actually speaking about that the other day. There's so many courses that you can do online, but do you get the same energy with that? Do you get the same aftercare? Do you get, everybody can train in anything and get an online certificate?
Absolutely. And you can get one over the course of a weekend if you want.
Yeah, I've seen mediumship courses, mediumship workshops. Be a medium in 2 days.
Yeah. It's the same where you'll see a demonstration as well, though, and they might pick somebody out and they'll tell them, oh, you can be a medium, you can do this, and then they leave them hanging.
Yeah.
So you've got somebody as well, I can do this, but what do I do with it?
Somebody, a few months back, somebody had said that they were speaking to someone who they'd said, I'm training with Stephen in mediumship, and the person had said, Stephen takes far too long to train people. I've heard that it's like a 2-year course that he's doing, and I'm like, yeah, that's why no?
Exactly.
Anyway, sorry.
No, but it's right. I'm working with a bunch of girls now. It's a nice wee group. It's a closed group, and they're quite happy just toddling along and doing the exercises and just expanding. And they've got
can he be
done? Yeah.
And
so if they've got questions, they know they've got access to me where they can ask the questions.
Yeah.
So they're not left high and dry by anything. And they're not looking it up online and getting somebody else's opinion.
Exactly. There's Zoe asking, what does John enjoy doing the most? Hello, Zoe. Nice to see you.
Morning, Zoe. What do you enjoy doing the most? I think now sharing the knowledge that I've got. And it is teaching mediumship. And it's a bit like yourself. It's your passion now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Just watching other people grow.
Yeah.
And then you can bring in the various things along with it, like the colour, the sound. And it's amazing how it all ties into one.
Absolutely.
But certainly, it's the aura and working with the energy. It's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
And I love talking about that and showing people just the potential that's within them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's just all one big package if you want.
Yeah. We had written something during the first lockdown there that we delivered to our trainee mediums as well, hadn't we? Where we delivered that. You were sharing all the images, and I was sharing the PowerPoints, and it worked really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of aligned on the same, the same way of thinking, which is good. And what a difference it made, because people actually just understand it.
Exactly.
There's nothing worse than learning something and then being like, what was that?
For me, it needs to be simple.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it simple.
Absolutely.
I feel when it comes to mediumship, we complicate things ourselves. Just be asking too many questions at times.
Yeah. Because the job of a medium is, the fundamental job of a medium is to prove the existence of the human soul beyond reasonable doubt.
Absolutely.
And that's it. It's not to say, right, your wee Auntie Betty's telling you here that your life's been up in tatters now, and you're she's saying that it's all going to be all right in the next 3 months, and that's rubbish.
Exactly.
The job of a medium is quite simply just to say, I have the energy of someone here. This is how they pass. This is what I feel their relationship is to you. This is the experiences that they had during their life. And just prove the existence of the soul.
Yeah. And it's just allowing that soul to tell its own story.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've all come with a story.
Absolutely. Zoe, your one fab package. Would love the two of you over at Heart and Soul. Proof of spirit, if so, healing for people. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could do something together, John.
Absolutely.
If we have time.
Yeah. No, I know you're busy with the shop and other things.
Well, things are about to change as far as that's concerned, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, Zoe's got a lovely place as well to work in.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's similar yourself. You've got this amazing energy when you walk in.
Yeah, Zoe's definitely got that amazing energy, hasn't she? She's like,
ah, no. She's electric, isn't she?
I always think Zoe's trying to tone it down too much, though. Like, see, when you meet her in person, it's like she's. I'm just hiya, how are you? You should be like, hi, how are
you?
Yeah. Sorry, Zoe, we're talking about you now. That's terrible. But she does. She's got a really bright energy about her.
Absolutely.
I've just cut my finger. I've got blood all over the place. It's just not good.
I think what I like about Zoe's work as well is she involves the kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes sensitive kids are left out a wee bit too much. But she brings all that in as well.
Mm-hmm. So, any more questions? Any more, guys? Come on. Talk to us. Because we've got 10 minutes that we need to fill, and John and I have just spent the last 10 minutes talking. So, Soul Man Surgeries is all about you guys being interactive and asking as many questions as you can. Because, John, we could just talk for hours about everything.
Oh, God,
aye. Zoe's saying there, you have cheered me up. Diane, I asked one earlier. We'll just have a wee look. Diane, sorry, I've missed your comment. There you go. Diane, I often take on the physical pain of my skaters when they have an injury, especially the ones that I work with 5 days a week or more. I pick up on their energy, obviously. So how do I stop this?
Deadly silence. For me, it's pretty much give them the pain back. It's just acknowledge that it's not your pain. And if we're impressed with the spirit world with any sort of condition or pains, we ask the spirit world, take it away.
Mm-hmm.
And you do the same with your own spirit.
Yeah.
Just take it away.
Thank it, acknowledge it, and ask it for it to be removed.
Yeah.
I think it can be just as simple as that, though, John. You know, just saying,
yeah,
thank you, take that away now. I don't want to feel that.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the discipline as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, when people call them empaths, it's like, I'm not saying they like that kind of thing happening, but they go deeper into the energy of it.
Mm-hmm. It's maybe a bit unfair, actually, that we said that. I hate how people call themselves empaths, because that's not necessarily the case. What I dislike is I dislike the fact that people box themselves or label themselves, and
Yeah.
they're so much more than an empath. So much more than that. You know, they are capable of so much more than just feeling other people's energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Diana's saying, I wonder if it's because I'm in their energy field as often.
Of course it is. I think anybody coming into your aura affects your aura.
Mm-hmm.
And if Diane's, which I'm feeling that she's very sensitive anyway, so she is going to sense all these feelings, all the pains, start getting their thoughts.
He's starting to read you now, Diane. He's tuning into your energy. I can physically see him. See, he's getting ready because look at his wee face. It's went all bright red. You've been caught, John Seery.
Yeah.
Diana's saying, I definitely don't want their pain. Yeah. And I think it is just as simple as that. You know, for instance, it's maybe a good thing to share. In the shop, we can go from reading one person to the next person to the next person, and you really have to do that where you're just detaching from that energy. And the best way of doing it is, right, okay, that's that done, moving on. That's that done, moving on. So I always feel like you're just putting down a shutter, or you're closhing yourself, or whatever way you want to see it.
It's simple things. It's go and wash your hands, and you're washing away the energy. Then you're getting ready for the next one.
Yeah. Or step outside, come back in. You know, that type of thing. Diane's saying, yeah, it's because I can read their thoughts too.
See?
Kelly's saying there, sometimes I just talk on the phone and pick up how people feel, or see their WeChat heads online.
Yeah. It's amazing how you do that. And when you're looking at people's chat heads, and instantly you recognize how somebody is. It might be the same one they've had for years, but if they're feeling a bit down, you just get drawn to something else in it. It's a bit like cards. So if you're doing cards, you'll always get one same card would mean different things for different people.
Yeah, it's like, if you were working with the tarot, so the tarot, each card has its own very unique meaning, but it's all about the perspective of what's going on in that person's life, so I don't know, for instance, the Lover's card, part of the Major Arcana, big life-changing card. That card for you, John, it could be that card is saying that you need to, focus on your romantic relationship and spend a bit more time with that. But then for me, it could be that my romantic relationship is fine and it's all good. And, so I'm not saying that that's the case. It's just an example. So it's all about the perception of like what's going on in that person's life, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that's the whole difference between just doing your normal reading and going a wee bit more in depth.
Yeah. It's a busy wee chat box. I don't know why. I don't know if it's my eyes, but it just looks awfully busy. Everything's just jumping into the screen there. And you can't see this part of it, can you, John?
No.
I might change that so that you can actually see it when people are asking questions. So Claire's asking what's going on with my chat head. So Claire, looking at you, I do feel that you're a bit all over the place, actually. But you're very mindful of that, and you know where your energy lies, and you know how to deal with your energy. So I do, like, as I'm looking at you, Claire, I feel like you're... I'm all right. I'm fine.
Just about to say that. She's hiding it well.
Yeah.
You can see behind the eyes.
Yeah. It's interesting, how you can actually really look at that and really poke in there. Kelly's saying there, I agree. I can see the same card 10 times a day and can intuitively feel a different meaning each time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, any more, guys? We've got 2 minutes left. It's a busy chat, but they're not very chatty, John. They're not asking any questions. Do you know what I'm really craving right now? Is the sea. I'm really craving being near the sea. I know you're close to the sea where you are, but
yeah.
wee bit jealous if I'm dead honest. But I really want to be near the sea.
Of course, you're a wee bit away from it, aren't you?
It's 20 minutes away, so we could drive, but then it's going at your postcode area, and I'm not one for breaking the rules.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I don't really travel 10 miles out with. But yeah,
I think I've visited the sea more times in the last year than I have in the previous few years.
Oh, really?
Just to stand there.
Mm-hmm. Kelly, it's trees that she loves. It's all energy, though, isn't it? Being outdoors, being around all this stuff that really just helps us to feel good.
Yeah, I see Kelly when she posts her pictures of the trees.
Aye, Kelly likes a tree.
Yeah.
I think Kelly likes to hug the trees as well, I'm pretty sure. Don't you, Kelly?
Yeah, I think she does.
So yes, that's us, John. That's our hour up. Anybody who's got any other questions, do feel free to... Oh, that you or me? Must be you.
That was mine.
Anybody who's got any other questions, please do feel free to keep asking questions in the chat box. I think we've just had a complete rant this morning, John.
Yeah.
But a good rant, because it's all about energy.
System. Yeah. Clearing the energy.
Yeah. I'm really excited though to see where we go over the next few months. Lots of new experiences, lots of moving forward, and just experiencing all these new things that we've never experienced before. Because nothing's ever going to be the same. It's just going to change and evolve. Feel similar, but it has to be different.
I'm looking forward to coming back up and getting to work again. As you said, it will be different. Because I think last year when I first came, it was new for a lot of people. But now it's not.
Yeah. It's amazing how we adapt, isn't it, and evolve. Yeah. Well, listen, John, thank you so much for today.
I enjoyed it.
And I will see
your calendar for today.
That's it. Seery telling me I don't have any events in my calendar for today. That's a good thing.
You don't have any events in your calendar for today.
Shut up. Sorry, that totally threw me there. So tomorrow, guys, we have got our very lovely Susan Watson on, and she is going to be talking all about ways in which you can improve your emotional and mental well-being, just like we always do with Sue. Soul Man surgeries as well, just so you all know, the Soul Man surgeries, we only have got them for 4 more weeks. The very last Soul Man surgery will be on the 14th, I think, of April. So we're going to have that very last week. And then I'm very pleased to announce to you all that the Soul Man surgeries, they will continue but in a different form, and they will be a monthly podcast. So you'll still be able to listen to Soul Man surgeries, but it will be in a very different form, and it will be a monthly podcast. So that will be happening, which is really exciting. And the first one will be at the middle of May, which is really, really cool. Yeah, so the reason that we're stopping the Soul Man surgeries is because obviously we're back to work, and I can't do that at 9:30 to 10:30 every morning. That's just how it is. So, John, we'll see you again on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, see you again Tuesday, and thank you so much for changing your day to Thursday for us this week.
That's not a problem.
And everybody else, I will see you tomorrow with our very lovely Susan Watson. Say bye, John.
Bye.
Bye, John.